Toby sent a $5 super chat. He said, "What are some things y'all think should definitely happen before the time skip? And who's the perfect character to train Boruto?" I think we talked about this
All right.
before.
I think this is a little bit different because should is definitely like it's like an important part. I personally believe one of the things that definitely should happen, especially in the anime, because the manga kind of already got this covered. But Sarda's third Tomo, we need something, bro. We can't just have this thing where Sarda doesn't have three Tomos anymore. No, I'm sorry. Stop this. We need it. We need it confirmed. We need to see it in the manga again. We need to see everything, bro. That has to happen 1000%.
In the manga?
No, the manga, in my personal opinion, it's like what's first, and that's able to change. I'm afraid that in the manga, we're gonna see her Sharingan again, and she's gonna have two Tomo. I want them to confirm that she has three. Like
In the manga? Holy shit. Okay.
I'm deathly afraid that they're gonna change it in the manga. I mean, and in the anime, because she had two of them when the manga essentially showed that she had three. In the anime, she needs to have another fight where she actually does have three Tomo. That
Wait a
needs to
minute,
happen.
Bara. Bara, listen. Stay on your side, okay? Don't come over here to the Sarda side. You don't get to do that, sir. Okay, don't be advocating for my girl. What are we doing?
I gotta jump on the Sarda side for this. Just for this, everything else, I'm back on Kawaki's side.
Bro, listen. I don't think they're gonna regress the the art with the three Tomo. I don't even know it. I don't know what the three Tomo does for like the third one. Like she's doing the same things in the anime that she's doing in the manga with three Tomo. So I guess anime version superior, I suppose.
So here's the thing, real quick. I'm afraid that they're gonna have her unlock the third Tomo within the time skip, and we're never really gonna actually get to see it. If that happens, I'll be pissed. Like, for example, if things end right now in the anime, let's say they go on a time skip, and then all of a sudden post time skip she now has three Tomos, and in the manga all she was shown with three Tomos was that Boro fight. I'd feel like that's a little bit cheap. You gotta show it. You gotta show it to us, just like how you showed us her unlocking the second Tomo. You gotta give me the third one.
Well, I mean, they are calling her in with the rest of Team 7, so I suspect we're gonna get that opportunity pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no,
Hopefully.
I think what did you say? Best person training Boruto specific. Okay, so yeah, I dropped a video today talking about this, just not just Boruto, but just like all of Team 7, to where I think they can do something akin to what Kakashi did for Naruto in Shippuden, to where Kakashi made use of Naruto's lineage, his Uzumaki genetics, and his immense chakra reserves to teach him how to infuse wind chakra release into his Rasengan years before he should have been able to. Right? So that's like an example of like big brain individuals maximizing people's training regiments via their genetics, right? So I think Shikamaru can do something akin to that as well. I don't think it's a coincidence that they mentioned the 3 to 4 business days that's going to take our boy Amato, Damon, and Ada to get from point A to point B, which is Konoha, of course. So I think that sets a time frame, gives us a little bit to work with. Now, when Amato was captured, he did say that they need to train Kawaki and Boruto to scale. So I definitely think that's like a little pin that they put in the wall for later.
Nani?
And I
He
think
said they
that's
had to
gonna come
train?
up.
I don't remember that. Bro, I have the worst.
Yeah, he was like, they're not strong enough to deal with this. Like Kawaki's not strong enough yet. Like, don't even call him in here. He's gonna get folded.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, well, he's having a conversation with Amato, and then he says, Shikamaru, you don't have any leverage here. Like all the authority is Ada's. Right. So I think Shikamaru, he's going to need to do some things. Code is off the table. They don't really know what's going on with him from their perspective. They don't know. So they can only focus in on Ada, Amato, and Damon. Now, like he said, Ada's coming there holding all the best cards. So Shikamaru wants a few good cards of his own. And right now, his cards are pretty pitiful. He's going to need to bolster his hand. So I think they're definitely going to need to train. And the purpose is to allow them to scale as much as possible within those 3 to 4 business days. to Ada and Damon so that he can have leverage in a negotiation.
Why do you keep saying business days?
Like Saturdays and Sundays
don't
not counting.
Like,
absolutely.
Labor Day
not,
ain't counting.
listen. Those are my chill days, okay? Business days only.
Oh my goodness.
But no, I think that's kind of like the thing there. So I think some like major training is going to happen now. In the video I mentioned image training or training within one's mind space, because Boruto and Kawaki, they don't need physical training. They need to learn how to harness their internal power. So I think that's where Naruto plays a role. Because that's kind of what he did with Killer Bee, right? Learn how to master internal power. Sasuke is not really useful for that, so I think that's why he wasn't called in. I think Naruto specifically was called in to help them with their training. So to answer your question, I would say Naruto and Shikamaru would train Boruto in the immediate future.
Yeah. You said Shikamaru as well? I've never heard anybody say Shikamaru train somebody.
No, just like the example I gave earlier, like how Kakashi trained Naruto. Right. It was more so like Kakashi said, I can't teach you shit. Like I can't tell you what to do at this point. You need to figure it out on your own. I can just lay the foundation for you. So I think that's what Shikamaru is going to do. He's just going to lay the foundation for them and utilize Naruto and his history with harnessing internal strength and power to train them. And I think this training happens in like the mind space, like some like the mind realm, as you see like Naruto talking to Obito or Naruto talking to Kurama in the mind space. And if you look at like Momoshiki manifesting, sorry, I'm trying to talk so much to make up for
no, go ahead.
Not being here. So when you see Momoshiki manifest in front of Boruto, right? Time seems to slow down for him from his perspective. I do not believe time actually slows down IRL. I just think that's from his perspective, right? So, right. And then you look at Tsukuyomi, time slows down. A few days in the dreamlike world of the Genjutsu is like a second or so. A few moments in the real world. So in these mind spaces, time moves differently. So this is why I draw the parallel between training in the mind space or through some chakra link or connection to the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z. So they borrow these concepts heavily from Dragon Ball. So again, they give us this time frame very specifically. We have this much time to work. To get these guys up to par so that we can have leverage in negotiations with Ada and Damon. Amato, before he's captured, tells him outright Kawaki's not that dude, and they're alluding to Kawaki being the baddest dude in the village. So clearly the thing to do here is to get Kawaki up to snuff, and the fact that they're pairing Team 7 up with Kawaki and Boruto and Naruto with his training history, it tells me that they have some training in mind, I would suspect. But yeah.
See what you mean? I like it. I like you kind of covered a lot there.
I try to make up for lost time.
I mean, like my icon says, I like seeing people get put in a pack. You know what I'm saying? So I've always said that I think Sasuke should train Boruto. I think Sasuke plays, as we see from Boruto in the time skip. He has on his cloak. He has a sword. So he obviously plays a big role in his development as a character in the future. So it's only evident that Sasuke most likely trained him like a Jiraiya kind of sensei. Now, I know, Mello, you're like, what can he really teach him? It's shonen.
I didn't say anything,
it's shonen.
Buddy.
He can teach him something. It's something that he's going to learn from Sasuke. But I think Sasuke is going to be the one to teach Boruto what, whatever he has to learn to become the person he is in the future. And I think Boruto is going to be the one that kills Sasuke, too. I think that would be a poetic ending for Sasuke. Put him in the pack and roll him up real nicely. But yeah, that's just who I think, will train Boruto. And what should happen before the time skip, Sasuke should die and Sasuke should train Boruto. There you go. Did that real fast for you guys since I've been talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, 1000%. Me personally, I've always said there's a bunch of people that I'd be okay with Boruto training with. I think Sasuke is probably going to be the most obvious one. But if there's a dream character that I absolutely love, it'd probably be Tonetti. I think Tonetti could probably give Boruto a lot of information about the Otsutsuki clan. We understand that he's probably going to get a lot of that information just from him being an Otsutsuki member and, of course, the Karma Seal. But also, I think that Tonetti could potentially speed up that dynamic and also give Boruto, I don't want to say tips on how to deal with Momoshiki, but help my guy Boruto out. Like he needs another Otsuki to at least explain some of this. I don't necessarily think that Tonetti knows everything. Obviously, I don't necessarily think that it's realistic for Tonetti to actually train Boruto because he is sealed. But if there's a dream guy, it'd be Tonetti. My dream scenario is Boruto and Tonetti go dimension to dimension, researching a lot about the Otsuki clan. One of my dream scenarios. Now, obviously, fighting wise, I don't necessarily think that Tonetti could teach Boruto as much as a lot of other people, mainly because I think fighting style wise, I don't necessarily think that Boruto is going to try to emulate Tonetti, but also. I understand that you don't necessarily have to be stronger than a character to teach them something, but I'm not completely sure if there's like any hacks that Tony has without his Tensegon that he can actually teach Boruto. But just for information purposes, I'd love Tony to teach Boruto.
Yeah. My only problem with Toneri is that just so far, if you want to say, okay, well, he can teach him about like Otsutsuki things, well, Momoshiki can kind of fill that role too. And I suspect it would be like a double-edged sword, to where Momoshiki can take over Boruto's consciousness and tap into his memories, to where he says, "Oh, what do you call that ability?" And then he says, "Rasengan," right? So he's obviously tapped into Boruto's history or memories. So I think that's a double-edged sword, to where Boruto could potentially do the same. He just doesn't know how to yet. So if we're talking about information about the Otsutsuki, I can definitely foresee Momoshiki filling that role. If we're talking about information about like the Jogan and its progression in terms of training, I think Momoshiki can serve that role as well. In the actual battle, well, post death, he says that you've strongly inherited the powers of the Otsutsuki, but you can't use it to see into your own destiny yet, right? So he knows about like the Jogan Eye. He says this while looking at the Jogan specifically. So we can make the conclusion that he's referencing the Jogan. So he knows about the abilities, which suggests that he knows about the eye, which suggests that he can actually train him. And if Boruto is tapping into like his knowledge or battle tactics or whatever, I can definitely see him being able to gather more information. Now, in episode 34, at the end credit scene, as I always mention, Toneri says, like, Boruto, with destiny as your enemy, how will you combat this, right? So he clearly knows something about the future and is trying to prepare Boruto to combat that dark future, that dark destiny. So in that instance, I think he's extremely valuable. But if it's just like Otsutsuki Jogan stuff, I think Momoshiki can serve that function.
I see what you mean. The thing about Momoshiki that, again, we were kind of talking about this when my Nero was here. A lot of people don't necessarily want them to have a bond, period, point blank. A lot of people would like Momoshiki to just be silent, docile until things really go down. So I'm not completely sure if Momoshiki would kind of fill that role, but if that is the case, I personally think that that is the best case scenario. People talk about Boruto training with other people. I think one of the best case scenarios, and maybe this is just me, because I think that Boruto and Momoshiki becoming friends isn't necessarily the worst thing. If Momoshiki and Boruto get along and Momoshiki starts to train Boruto, and Boruto becomes like a Momoshiki part 2, I'd absolutely love it, man. I'd absolutely love it.
Momoshiki part 2, I like that. I think like Momoshiki should just chill in the background. Like if Boruto's about to die, since he can't like save him anymore, he can give him knowledge like every time he's like at a near-death experience. Like, just chastise him a little bit, call him a stupid child, things of that nature, so he can keep his evil energy, but at the same time he can help him out in that way, so he can have that Otsutsuki knowledge.